Real Talk disclaimer. The information provided by the host on this platform is for education and awareness purposes only. All information provided on this platform is provided in good faith. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, validity, and reliability of information shared by the host or show guests. The views and opinions of guests on the show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the host of Real Talk. Under no circumstances do the host, show guests, sponsors, or affiliates assume responsibility for the actions of any viewer.
Those are questions. Okay, I just grabbed another two. I didn't know. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Marrow Debate hosted by Real Talk. Come on, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Are y'all excited about the runoff? Are you? Latham, she has been elected to the City Council District 1. We're also, yeah. Y'all didn't clap for me. All right now. We also have a podcast. It's Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. And we come on every Thursday at 6:15 on Facebook Live, YouTube. We also have a conference call line as well. You can also get it on Z. Andre Huff page and Tanya Latham page. But if you would like to share what we're doing right now, we're live on Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. Go ahead and share it from our page to yours so that we can educate those that desire to look at what we're doing. We came together and we wanted Gadsden to be here, and we see quite a few of you all filling in this place. Give yourself a hand. How about that? They're fine backstage. I actually saw them shake hands, so clap for that too. Clap it, yeah. All right. All right, so we're ready to get started. So we're gonna let Bishop T do what she do.
Hello, everyone, and thank you again for being here for this, what I know to be the first mayor candidate debate. Thank you for being here tonight. Without further ado, we're going to ask Epiphany Cherry if she would come and sing our national anthem. Let's give her a hand while she's coming.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Wow, come on, let's give her another hand. Now we want to introduce our moderator for tonight. He is a native of Gadsden, Alabama. He has served 16 years on the City Council of Birmingham, Alabama. As we bring to the stage our moderator for tonight, Pastor Steve Hart. Come on, let's give him a hand.
We want to also at this time bring the two candidates to the stage, Mr. Craig Ford and Miss Heather New. We want to just share a few things before we get started for our listeners, our viewers, and for yourself. The questions that's going to be presented, there was a diverse group that looked over the questions and make sure these are questions that Gadsden want to know answers to. These are issues that we haven't seen solved in the past that we were looking forward when a new leader take place that they'll be able to change them. Both individuals have not received one question. They had the rules and they have the categories, but they did not receive any question. On your podiums, you have the questions now. The reason why we put the questions there is because if Mr. Hart asks the question and one is responding, in the midst of the responding, if you forget what the question really was, you can always look back at the question while they're responding. I'm just saying. Okay, so here's the rules. There's going to be a coin toss. I think I got a quarter. Where's Johnny? Johnny Moore. You got a quarter? Yeah. You got, huh? Okay, all right. All right. So, Mr. Rowe, you got a quarter? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I should have came prepared. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a coin toss. And in the coin toss, whoever wins the coin toss could either go first or they can defer it and opt to go last in the opening statement. The opening statement will last for 2 minutes for each candidate. The person that goes first in the opening statement will also answer the first question first. They have 2 minutes to answer the question. The opposing candidate will have 2 minutes to rebut it. After that, they go into open discussion. They'll go back to the first person. They have 1 minute in open discussion, and they'll go back and forth. Each question will not last longer than 12 minutes. So at 12 minutes, we end that conversation. This is actually a debate, okay? It's not going to be a Q&A, it's going to be a debate. So the person that opts to go last in the opening statement will go first in the closing statement. There are several categories. There are going to be several questions, and it'll go back and forth that way. The moderator understands, and the two candidates also. There will be no other questions asked, not from the audience or anyone else. The questions are already been prepared, and we're looking forward to have a wonderful debate, okay? All right, let me have both of you all come to the middle like we at Gadsden City High School, tight and feel. And because Ms. Heather looked better than you, I'm going to let you call it, okay? It's tails. Okay. So you win. I'll go first. Right? You'll go first, okay, and you'll go last in the closing. Okay. And then you receive the first question. Okay? Okay? All right. So we're now going to turn it over to Mr. Pastor Stephen Hort.
Thank you.
And we ask that you all do speak in the mic, okay?
Let me say good evening to all of you. I feel kind of awkward with my back turned to you all. But I'm glad I got my wig done. So, but I want to say good evening to all of you. It is my sheer delight and my singular honor that I stand or sit before you this evening as your moderator on this evening of the mayoral debate. We are excited because we have two outstanding citizens of the city of Champions who will offer themselves to the highest office in the city of Gadsden. But this evening promises to be one of balance and fairness, as well as informative, as you all decide who your next mayor would be. And so each candidate would implore mutual respect of each other. My task this evening with this debate is to stay on task and to make sure that Pastor Z and Bishop T will not invite me back again. So I have to do what I've been asked to do, but I want to personally thank them for inviting me to be a part. I'm a native son of Gadsden. I grew up right down in 6th Street and went to Gadsden High and went away, and everything that I've accomplished, everything I've achieved, it's been because of Gadsden and the city of Gadsden and the wonderful education that I received here. And if I might take a personal privilege, I do want you all to know that that was my niece who sang the national anthem. and I taught her how to sing. I want to say good evening again. I don't think I need to go back over the rules, but if I need to, I can. And I'll just do that. I just fill in where Reverend Huff has left off. And that would be that whoever speaks first with the opening statement, he's already said, will be asked the first question. Candidates will go in the reverse order following the question back and forth from that point. The candidates will speak first, and the opening statement will be the last person to speak in the closing statement. The opening statement should be your experience, your platform, etc. You have 2 minutes to do so. And then the questions that have been formulated with respect to categories. And after receiving the first question, the first candidate will be given an opportunity to answer within 2 minutes. The opposite candidate will be given 2 minutes to rebut. And we will go into the open discussion. The first speaker will be given 1 minute to speak. The opposing candidate will be given 1 minute to speak after the first speaker. Time limit on each question will be no more than 12 minutes. And after all the categories and questions have ended, we will go straight into the closing statement. The candidate who spoke first at the opening will speak last at the closing. A real talk, a mayoral debate is would be the only one broadcasting this evening. And however, he's already shared that it will be on YouTube and Facebook Live. And no cameras, crews are welcome unless they have gotten permission from Real Talk this evening. And so as we start this evening, it is in the essence of time that each one have provided questions in each category. The first question has to do with municipal budget, and this is a three-part question. The first one, the current city of Gadsden has a 2% occupational tax,
Can we interrupt? Are we
Yes.
supposed to introduce ourselves first?
Oh, yes, I'm
That's
so
all
sorry.
right, yeah.
My fault. It's on my notes.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Heather and I were looking at each other. Yeah.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
introduce yourselves.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. I'll tell you, if many of y'all don't know me, I'm Craig Ford, born and raised in Gadsden, grew up in East Gadsden. I'm the owner of a Ford Insurance Agency, the Messenger newspaper. I'm also just recently promoted to major in the Alabama Army National Guard. I was talking to a gentleman down here. I've spent some time in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I used to be an armor officer, and I'm a logistics officer. So that means nothing really other than you playing logistics. But I'm thankful to have a lot of our employees here tonight. It means nothing to own a business without people around you that are successful, and they can tell you, they call it a Craigcation when I'm out of town. So they get a lot of things done. But I love Gadsden. This is my wife, Gwen Ford, who we've been married 28 years. My daughter's here. She's married to a guy, Alex Dionis, who is in the military, who's serving in Germany with the Ukrainian crisis, Wells Ford. And our son is getting married in April. He works for a private equity firm as a consultant. And he's engaged to a lady named Erin Hofstad from Iowa. Graduated from Auburn. So War Eagle. My wife graduated from Alabama. So there you go. All right. Thank you.
Ms. New?
So first I want to thank our hosts, our MC, and all of you attending and watching tonight. I'm Heather Brothers New, and tonight I'm pleading with you to lock arms with me, our surrounding cities, our county, our region, to take Gadsden in a different direction. My platform is focused in 4 areas: workforce development and education, economic development, governmental transparency, and quality of life and recreation. I believe that we have the talent in our community that can transform it into a thriving economy that embraces and retains our youth. I'm a certified, trained economic developer. I have more than 15 years in organizational management, and I have experience in fire and rescue, water and sewer, grant and budget management, and I'm a small business owner with my beloved husband, Blake. This race has been one of the ugliest local races we've ever seen. I've been followed. I've been sent an anonymous letter. I've been threatened, and as recently as of yesterday, someone attempted to steal my identity after my husband's Social Security number was posted online this week by a supporter of the other candidate. Meanwhile, my opponent has broken records by almost 4 times with a $300,000 war chest. He took out a $100,000 personal loan and has received more than $50,000 in Montgomery Special Interest PAC money. Yet he's still calling and texting my top supporters with threats to pay once now or pay twice later, even though he still has $160,000 in the bank.
That's your time. Thank you. The first question has to do with, it's a 3-part question, has to do with municipal budget. The current city of Gadsden has a 2% occupational tax that has made up 28% or 29% of the operating budget. Do you support the occupational tax? And if yes, why? And if no, what is your plan to make up or replace the 28% or the 29% of operating relative to the occupational tax?
I thought the opener
you
got the
first.
first question first. I don't mind
Yes.
taking it.
I'll
I'm
be
sorry.
honest with you, I wasn't a straight-A student. When you read the rules, I got confused, so I'll just play by the game. But I guess I need to address a couple of things I was accused of earlier before I addressed the question. Heather, I want you to know I've never threatened or stolen your Social Security number or your husband's. I don't need to, but I admire you for running. I've been in politics a long time, so I wish you the very best. If you're elected mayor, I plan on working with you and helping you as much as I can. So if that's some of our supporters, I apologize on our behalf, but that's not coming from myself or my family. So just to clear that up. Raising the money, yes, I have raised a lot of money. I'm good at that. I don't threaten people when I have to raise money. People, I think the last thing you like to do is give money to elected officials. But I enjoy sharing our message to people. I have raised a lot of money for Montgomery, and I'll get to that later, because I have a lot of connections in Montgomery and in Washington that I plan on bringing back here to Gadsden, Alabama. So back to your question, I'll address your question.
Yes, well, you have 1 minute left.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. So as far as an occupational tax, I don't think anybody in this room likes paying taxes, me, myself included, and you too. However, I do realize taxes are a necessary evil of government. If you want paved roads, if you want fire and police protection, if you want to be able to recruit the finest in the police department and keep those people once you train them and send them to the academy, you have to have revenue that comes into the city. I get that. I was on the Education Trust Fund budget in Montgomery, Alabama when I was a legislator for 18 years, and we had an $8 billion budget that we had to work out. There are times that you have to make necessary cuts, and there's times that you have to add revenue. The occupational tax is something that's a hot debated topic here. I'll tell you this, there's a $70 million budget per se in Gadsden, Alabama. You do away with occupational tax, and it says here it takes away 28,
Mr. Ford,
29%.
that's your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I apologize. Yeah.
All right, Ms. New?
Well, I am not at all in support of the occupational tax. It is, like Mr. Ford said, a necessary evil right now, but it doesn't always have to be. And I think that it's important that we study the tax rates that we currently have. We study the deficits that we experience as an economically depressed area in a jumpstart county. We've got an opportunity to grow our industrial and commercial sectors significantly enough that it would no longer be necessary. But that's not a Band-Aid you can rip off immediately. My proposal initially is to present a comprehensive study to the council to consider that we repeal the 2% occupational tax on Gadsden residents who work in Gadsden. I have met with some municipal finance specialists. They indicate to me that that would be about a $3 million hit to our budget. And as Mr. Ford pointed out, we do have a $70 million plus budget. So a $3 million drop in revenues could be easily absorbed. If we are assessing that tax because our MSA, our Metropolitan Statistical Area, grows so significantly during the day that it puts an additional stress on our roads, our public safety, et cetera, why are Gadsden residents being taxed for it twice?
Thank you. Our next question is September 11 has reminded all of us the importance of our first responders. You want to? Okay.
Sure. Yeah, since I didn't get to finish.
Okay.
How much time do I have to rebut? Just
You have 1 minute.
1 minute. So I'll say it quick. If you take away the occupational tax, it's $21 million out of a $71 million budget. You're not going to be able to function with the city of Gadsden. You're not going to be able to give pay raise to firefighters and police protection. I'm not for doing away with occupational tax. I think there's a difference in us and our opinions. Also, it's illegal to treat two different classes of citizens, and by saying you're going to not allow city of Gadsden residents to pay the occupational tax, but others are. You can't do that. That's federally wrong. You'll get sued on that. We'll lose that lawsuit, and once again, we'll be paying attorneys to defend something we know we're going to lose. So I just want to tell you, as far as an occupational tax, like I said, it's a necessary evil. I don't like taxes. However, it's part of the budget. If you lose it, you're going to have to replace it. So that's my point.
Okay. All right. You have 1 minute.
We have sent this claim of constitutionality to Legal Resources Services in Montgomery. It has been determined that if it were unconstitutional to do it as an immediate application, it could be done as a refund, so it is possible.
Okay. Very good. Our next question is September 11 reminds all of us the importance of our first responders. We know that they are essential and vital to ensuring the safety and well-being of our communities. The city currently are in need of hiring policemen and firemen. What is your plan to combat the challenges of understaffing and underpaid and low morale among first responders? Ms. Neal?
So the last 4 years, we've had record excesses in our municipal budget. In 2018, 14 million, 19, 11 million, I could keep going. The money is there to pay our first responders. I don't know what the problem is because I don't work there currently, but I do know I have worked in fire and rescue, and that is a calling. That is a servant's heart that spends their nights and days, misses their families, misses their Christmases and their birthdays and the first steps and dinner every night just to be able to run into a burning house to save us, to scrape us off of an interstate, to provide any and everything that we need when we expect them to be at our beck and call. We've got to respect them. I think that first and foremost, that we have a free flow of conversation, that we are able to talk to each other in a respectful manner. But the pay disparity has to end. We're training officers and we're training our firefighters, and then they're leaving us for better pay. That is an open wound, and the bleeding has to stop.
Mr. Ford,
So how long do I have again?
you have 2 minutes. I'll
2 minutes.
start you
All
over.
right. I'm just getting the rules now. Okay. All right, so if you talk about fire and police, let's go back to the first question. If you do, and this is sticking to the question, if you do away with $21 million of a $70 million budget and $52 million is already allotted for payroll, retirees, and benefits, then you're not going to be able to pay your police and fire any money to be able to get them to stay here, much less recruit them here. So it all goes hand in hand. I'm an officer in the United States Army, and I can tell you this, if your men aren't paid, your morale is low. Well, if we don't increase their pay and pay them a competitive wage of numerous municipalities around us and conduct a study and find out what they're paying them, and it's not just their pay, it's their equipment. I've talked to many policemen where their vehicles are breaking down, they're 10, 15 years old. There's some new policemen that just got hired that don't have vehicles to drive, so they're actually just staying in City Hall and they're doing other jobs available to them until they can get a vehicle. It's not just our fire pay, it's also the facility of the fire halls. I had a fireman one time show me the facilities that they stay in, and it's not adequate what you would want your fire department to stay in. So it's not just pay, it's also their facilities and equipment and providing them the necessary tools for them to be able to do their job. But I'll go back to the occupational tax. You do away with $22 million and you got a $70 million budget, you don't have any money left to pay your fire and your police.
Ms. New?
Sure. In case anyone missed it, my proposal is to eliminate the 2% occupational tax on Gadsden residents, which equates to a $3 million hit to our budget. So there would still easily be room to pay for our first responders to have an equitable wage. We have $24 million that came into our city alone, just our city, from ARPA funds. Those can be used for facilities, equipment, etc. I also intend to hire a full-time grant writer and potentially a staff so that we can go after the funds that are out there. We've never had more federal, state, or even local funds available to us so that we can fortify the equipment. We can fortify our firefighters and our police officers. I've met with fire and police as well, and it's pretty heartbreaking. Their morale is devastating. They're exhausted. And they are overworked, and they don't have the option to not come in. They can't say, no, I won't take that overtime shift. They have to show up for us. So we've got to show up for them.
Thank you. Our next question. Currently, longevity pay makes up more than $1 million of the city's budget. Do you support longevity pay? And if yes, why? And if no, why not? And under your administration, do you feel the need to continue longevity pay or to do away with it? Mr. Ford.
Okay, yeah. I do support the longevity pay. I believe once you stay into a corporation or a municipality, the longer you stay and the better job that you do, the more you should receive benefits for. So, yes, I don't think that's a complicated question in my opinion, but I do support the longevity pay. If not, you're going to end up losing employees to other municipalities, and we need to keep the good ones, and the bad ones will take care of themselves.
Okay. Ms. New?
I think that's an easy one for us. I support longevity pay as well. I fully believe that when you give your life's work to an organization or a city, that it should be rewarded.
Okay. All right. Our next question is a four-part question to this category, and it deals with municipal diversity and equality. The city of Gadsden has a population of approximately 35,000 according to the 2020 census. Whites make up about 56.8% of the population, blacks 37.2% of the population, and Hispanic 7%. And with such a diverse population, the city government has no minority department heads, and part-time employees disproportionately are minorities who work for years with no benefits. Ms. New?
So I take this one first. It is curious to me that we wouldn't have any diversity in our leadership. In a community that has such a rich diversity among it, there should certainly be diversity in our leadership. And I'm for certain that the talent is here. I don't think that anyone should be given a job because they're a buddy or because they've been promised something, because they're of a particular color or gender or age. I think that we need to have fair hiring practices. We need to open up opportunity to our full community, and we need to hire the best and the brightest. And I am certain that our best and brightest will include diversity. And I fully believe it will include diversity at similar rates to the makeup of our community.
Mr. Ford?
Yes, sir. If elected, I'm allowed to be able to serve as your mayor. We will have a director of diversity and inclusion in our cabinet. That is one office that we will fill. I think it's important that I think it's saddening that there are no department heads that are African American or Hispanic or Latino or anything other than non-white. So Yes, I'll go ahead and just be honest with you. Our department will reflect the population of the city of Gadsden. I believe you can find what you need anywhere you want to look. There's a lot of people that I have in mind that I want to recruit that had service in Montgomery, that served in some areas of the governor's cabinet. And if elected, I plan on bringing them to Gadsden. So I'm anxious about that opportunity and look forward to it.
Thank you. The second part of the question, will municipal diversity?
Do we get a follow-up, sir? Do we get a follow-up on those? On that one?
If you want to, if you have a rebuttal, certainly.
Sure. I'm going to first and foremost focus on residents of Gadsden because I believe the talent is here. I also believe that you don't need a director of diversity and inclusion when your personnel department head is focused on diversity and inclusion. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Ford,
Would
you like to?
Disagree. I disagree. I think we should. Yeah.
Very good. So the second part of the question, will municipal diversity and equality be a priority of your administration, and in what way will you work to improve it? And I think you probably have already addressed that. So if so, we can just move on to the next question.
Sure.
Is that okay? Okay. The third question would be, too often black and brown communities have suffered from displacement, exclusion, segregation, economic and health inequalities. Many times these communities receive little or nothing from the city's budget. With your administration, do you prioritize the needs of black and brown community and to ensure that government funds are distributed where the need is the greatest?
Okay.
Mr. Ford.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I think everything should be distributed equally. However, I think in Gadsden, I see Billy Billingsley out here, a friend of mine, that a lot of times the black communities do get left out. I went to Carver and we had a get-together meeting some of the people and old-fashioned politicking, and it's a disgrace that sometimes we only see elected officials only when it's time to run for office. Well, that's going to change with us. You get off of the main road in Carver, and then that street looks beautiful and lit and banners and everything, but you get back in the neighborhood and it doesn't look like the rest of the main avenue. So that's discouraging to me. We're going to treat everyone equally. We're going to treat everyone fair, and we're going to take care of those areas that need help. I think that's important, and I think that's what's needed in a leader in Gadsden, that no one's treated unequally, that we're all treated the same.
Ms. New?
A few years ago, I was writing some articles for the magazine that the Chamber produces annually, and I had been told a little bit about a story about a quote-unquote slum clearance that it occurred at the end of the 50s in Gadsden, where black-owned businesses were relocated off of Broad Street in our prime retail areas. And I was astounded, and I decided I needed to know more, and I'm very grateful for my friend Shari Bostic, who is a historian and an advocate for all communities in Gadsden, who shared a lot of information about that event. We must look at people as the way we look at our own families, as the way we look at ourselves in the mirror. And when things aren't fair, we have to stand up and say things aren't fair. That dislocation set back generations of wealth for our community, but unfortunately it set back generations of wealth specifically in our communities of color. And I believe that we need to do something about it. I have worked diligently on a business incubator because we need to be giving our area a leg up on starting businesses. We need to surround startups, and the brilliance that is here is astounding. It is remarkable. We can make a difference, but it's going to take an effort and it's going to take time, and I am committed to that.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any rebuttal?
Sure. Recently I met with a community in the Gadsden Mall in the food court, and they were the Black Chamber of Commerce. And it bothered me, and I asked them, I said, why is there a Black Chamber of Commerce? And they looked at me and they just said, because we didn't feel like we were included in the Chamber of Commerce. So I can assure you the Black Chamber of Commerce will be included in the Gadsden Etowah Chamber of Commerce if they want to continue to secure funding from the city of Gadsden.
It is unfortunate that certain individuals did not feel welcome, but they were included, invited, and you can talk to folks like Jasmine Winston and Dorothy Taylor, who we met with directly, that were in leadership of that organization. And we shared often with them opportunities for business growth. Real work requires real shovels. And that's what we're about to get after. We're going to build this incubator. It's going to be here within the next year, and it's going to have a focus on building minority businesses in our community.
Okay, the fourth part of the question will be the current city council proposed legislation that would have provided the removal of public statues related to artifacts of the Confederate States of America. Do you support the preservation of historical statues and artifacts, including those Confederacy with taxpayers' dollars? And if yes, explain why. And if not, explain why not. And do you support the removal of these statues and related artifacts? If yes, explain why. And if not, explain why. And if you need me to repeat that again, we could at some point. Okay? All right. Ms. Mill.
So I believe the issue is not the statue itself, but it is often the story that goes along with the statue. And as long as we are relaying the true history in our communities, I don't think that statues are damaging. What I do think is damaging is spreading a lie in one community that I am in full support of taking down a statue, or that I marched with Black Lives Matter, when that in fact is pretty insulting to the people that did march with Black Lives Matter that know I wasn't there. I think that was a rumor that was spread in order to disparage me, and more importantly, to divide our community, and that's not a good thing. That's never a good thing. We should always talk openly about our issues and our problems. Currently, the state of Alabama has legislation that would impose a fine daily if a statue were removed. That is a fact. Without a resolution from our city council that would put funding toward that fine, there is nothing in the world a mayor can do about a statue. I think we need to have open and clear communication with our full community. We need to talk about our hurts and our pains from the past, and we need to listen to learn and understand each other and have compassion for each other. And we don't need to let a statue stand between us. We need to be open with our hearts, with our minds, and with our voices, and provide safe spaces so that we can have those conversations.
Mr. Ford.
Yes, sir. So I did serve in the legislature 18 years, and there were pieces of legislation that were brought up about statues, and a lot of emotions were involved from a lot of my Black legislative friends. I don't understand what the Black community feels. I don't ever profess to feel that way. But I am empathetic, and I want to learn, and we'll have an open dialogue. However, moving a statue will require significant fines to a municipality. Government 101, federal trumps state, state trumps municipality all day long. You move a statue, you're going to be paying a significant fine all day long. Look what happened in Birmingham to the state of Alabama. That's nothing that we came up with, the mayor or any municipality or councils. We're going to move forward, and we're going to create our own statues, our new statues of diversity, and we're going to create statues in our community of job growth, economic growth, education, and we're going to be proud of what we're able to develop for the future. But we're going to also recognize the past and the hurt that it's caused to others and be empathetic to those.
Our next category deals with economic development, and yes. Okay. All right. I was told that we have to take a 10-minute break.
Oh,
Is that okay?
fine with me.
All right. I'm going to sing now. I'm just kidding.
Suit Up, Volume 1, written by Z. Andre Huff. Enjoy 100 devotional messages designed to impact, empower, and encourage you. Suit Up lists each devotional title in the table of contents. These short, convenient devotionals will jumpstart your day. Orders Suit Up, Volume 1 by Z. Andre Huff today. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Westbow Press. You'll be glad you did.
Online to see your face. You want the people online to at least be able to see your face.
Okay, we got 1 minute. All right, that's our time. Let us come back to order, please. And our third category deals with economic development. This is a four-part question. The first question is that economic development is the process of improving the economic well-being and the quality of life for a community. What programs, policies, activities will your administration implement to ensure economic development for all citizens? And I think Ms. New.
Sure. So my plan includes a county-wide economic development council that will encompass 5 sectors: industrial, commercial, residential, tourism, if they would like to come along into that sector, and aeronautical. We've completely neglected our airport as an economic engine, and we must invest in it. In order to do it appropriately, we're going to have to look at this from a county-wide view. We have to embrace our brothers and sisters and our cities around us, and we have to embrace our county. We are one Etowah County, and the reason that we've been left behind is because we don't get along. We've got an opportunity to lock arms with Southside, Attala, Hokes Bluff, Glencoe, Rainbow City, and our county, and we can go so much further together. I have spoken with our state delegation about an opportunity to designate an existing stream of funding. And yes, primarily it would come from Gadsden, but it would protect it legislatively so that no mayoral administration could inadvertently influence the location of a project. This will allow that Economic Development Council to place a project where it fits the best, where it will build its deeper roots, and where it will fit our community wholeheartedly. And I think that this is important because if you look at the Little Canoe Creek mega site, which I know has been put down quite a bit in the past, it's a phenomenal site now. It is one of the most competitive that we have in the Southeast. It is 1,000+ acres with on-to rail. It's a certified advantage site in the state. We're going to land a mega employer there, and the city of Gadsden needs to be at the table, and we haven't been. We've got to support their efforts, and as a result, we're going to see our industrial
Ms.
poverty.
New, that's your time. Okay, thank you. Mr. Ford?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, sir.
Okay. First of all, we have to attract industry that's appropriate for us in Gadsden. As I do care about Etowah County, Gadsden will and always will be number one. We're going to need a dashboard. We have nothing that we've done in the that we've done recently as far as recruiting industry, as far as showcasing what we have available. Just recently, and a lot of people may have gotten disturbed about this, I thought it was a fantastic thing that we were able, the Gadsden plan is sold. It is being sold industries. And if that upsets you, I'll give you some more good news. We're also bringing an aluminum plant to the Gulf State Steel property. So, and I was also privileged to be in those conversations. If you want to attract industry, let me tell you, you got to put together a plan. You got to have a workforce. You got to work with JSU, Gadsden State, the Bevel Center, You got to work with Build Alabama and Birmingham, Alabama. You got to be able to bring in these industries. How do you do it? You look at my past record. As a legislator, we were able to create expansion of Toyota. We brought in Airbus, Honda, Hyundai. We brought in $30 million for the Gadsden Goodyear plant in 2005 to keep it into existence until 2018. When they tried to close the plant in 2018, I had a meeting with one of our United States senators, a lot of local leaders, and I wasn't even an elected official trying to keep this plant in operation. It could have stayed in operation, and we could have kept that plant, especially during COVID, when they realized they needed the Gadsden Goodyear plant because they couldn't do what they were doing overseas, and we could have enhanced our plant, and it would still be in operation today. But coming up with $30 million to keep the Gadsden Goodyear plant open in 2005 was a feat, and it wasn't done just by myself. It was done with Senator Means, Representative Gallagher, and Representative Page, and that was something that they were very proud of. So,
Mr. Ford, that's your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second part of the question, with employment being one of the driving forces behind economic growth, what is your plan to create jobs and to bring industry into our city? And I guess I'll go ahead and ask the third one too, because I think it's relative. Is how much influence, if any, will organizations outside of the city of Gadsden influence the type of industry that we are recruiting to the city of Gadsden?
I think I go first on this.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm not sure I understand the second part, but I can tell you this.
Well, let me just clarify. I think you sort of answered it before, but let me just repeat it. It says, how much influence, if any, will organizations outside of the city of Gadsden influence the type of industries that are recruited to the city of Gadsden?
Okay. I'll be honest, I don't really care who influences or who doesn't influence. We need jobs. We need good paying jobs. So if they want to influence us, they can influence us. But I want them to locate in Gadsden, Alabama first. Then I want to help Etowah County second. I'm not trying to help the mayor of Rainbow City or Southside, and I'm not trying to run their cities. I want to run the city of Gadsden. So I want to tell you, one person you were talking about maybe bringing people out of area. Yes, there are plenty of Gadsdenites that deserve an opportunity to work for the city of Gadsden. But let me tell you about one guy named Representative Rod Scott from Birmingham, Alabama. He graduated 2 Ivy League schools. He served on the Alabama Education Budget Committee. He's recruited by national industrial developers to come to their areas to work for them, to help bring in his models, to bring in industry to their area. He is committed to come to work for the city of Gadsden and move to Gadsden to work for us to help us in the industrial development. We need people like him and his ideas and his thoughts to be able to come to our area, and if it doesn't take my experience of reaching outside of where we need to do, I'll do whatever it takes to bring good paying jobs for our Gadsden people.
Ms. New?
I believe in wholeheartedly reaching outside of the city of Gadsden. Again, I'll reiterate that my plan is countywide. We have one sandbox, and if we only focus on our one little sandbox, we're only going to build small little sandcastles. We've got to have a bigger picture. I have no problem with looking outside of our community either, but I will reiterate, I will focus on our residents for top jobs. We've got an opportunity to look north. If you look at Huntsville, they're not saying if it's not in our city limits, we're not helping, we're not involved. Huntsville, Madison, Decatur, Morgan has a strong partnership. They know who they are, they know where they're going, and it starts with a plan. We have no plan. We're wandering around aimlessly. For the past, 40 years, our comprehensive master plan is from 1977. That plan needs to be comprehensive for our city, but we also need to look at our surrounding cities. And we need to be in partnership with them. If we're going to stay divided, we're not going to get anything accomplished. Not liking our mayors in our community isn't going to get us anything. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's dysfunctional. It's what we've been doing, and it doesn't work. It's very clear it doesn't work. No one is trying to hurt Gadsden. And I don't know if somebody's telling you that they are, but they're not. Our surrounding cities thrive when we thrive. It makes no sense for them to want us to have a demise. It makes no sense for them to want to take us over. They don't have the budget or the resources to do it. And I know that some of you in other communities have been told that that is my plan, that I'm going to let one particular mayor just pull my strings, run the show. That is not true at all. But I'm going to tell you that if we don't have strong leadership that wants to go together, that mayor very well may eat our lunch. He doesn't.
That's your time.
Can I get my 1
Well,
minute? I get 1 minute.
And I want to make sure that we understood the first part of the second question, and that is, what is your plan to create jobs and to bring industry into the city? So I would
Okay.
need you all to answer that. I didn't hear the answer.
Is this a new question, or do I get
No,
my
this
1
is-
minute
no,
of
this
rebuttal?
is- Well, I'm going to give you two minutes
Okay.
on that, because I didn't
Can I
hear
go
the
ahead and
answer.
get my 1 minute of rebuttal on what
You'll
you
get a 1 minute rebuttal.
Yeah,
I
okay.
add, so you got 3 minutes.
So we talk about your sandbox. Your sandbox is large when it comes to recruiting industry, but it's small when it comes to wanting to hire employees. So I want to have a large sandbox for recruiting industry and hiring people. I want to bring in the best possible people we can bring in to help Gadsdenites have good, high-paying, quality jobs. It's a simple process. You can't take the 18 years that I served in the Alabama legislature and not use the connections that I have with Greg Canfield, the head of ADECA, Lee Sintel, tourism director, Bill Poole, who's the finance director for Governor Ivey. I'm going to utilize those connections for you. That's what I want to do. Now, what are we going to do to bring in industry? We're going to roll out the red carpet. We're going to update our education. We're going to show them we have top schools in our area. We're going to talk about our workforce development. We're going to talk about Gadsden State Junior College. We're going to talk about Jacksonville State. We're going to talk about the Bevel Center. We're going to talk about workforce development in the state of Alabama. And I'm going to do everything I can do to uncover every rock and write every grant that we can do to get you jobs here in Gadsden, Alabama.
You want your rebuttal? I think you did it.
I'm so lost, I don't know. Yeah.
Ms. New.
I've been fortunate to serve for the past 8 years on the Business Council of Alabama's Board of Directors, so I have been blessed with those same relationships. I know Greg Canfield, I know Lee Sintel, I know Jim Searcy. I can say a whole lot of other names that probably none of you really know who they are, but I know a lot of folks in Montgomery, and I have very, very positive relationships with them. I also have positive relationships with our state delegation. I haven't ran against any of them. So that has allowed us to grow a deep and abiding friendship, and I know that we're going to work well together. We shouldn't be promising jobs to people before we ever get into office. We should be advertising opportunity and hiring the best candidate, and this job promising is how we have lost focus of our citizens and diversity in our leadership.
Okay, very good. All right, our next question, and the fourth part of this, in this category, education is the foundation, the groundwork from which much of economic growth and the well-being of a city is built. With that being said, is there ever a good time to cut the Gadsden city school system from the city of Gadsden's budget? If yes, why? If not, explain what the administration would do to build and improve the effectiveness of our city school system. Ms. New?
So the short answer is no. There's never an appropriate time to cut funding to our school system. If we are going to have our own school system, we should fund it. These students are our future workforce, and there is literally nothing more important than our children and equipping them to build our future for us. I served for 8 years as well on the Career Technical Advisory Council, 6 of which I chaired for Gadsden City Schools. So I had a front row seat to seeing what our opportunities are. We have a beautiful state-of-the-art facility here, but we don't offer all of the career technical programs that we could. I also served on the Aspire 2030 team with Gadsden State, and I was instrumental in the successful acquisition of the Advanced Manufacturing Center that is being built on Gadsden State. We will have a strong partnership between Gadsden City Schools and Gadsden State.
That's your time. Thank you. Mr. Ford?
So when we were helping other areas in the state, when I was in the legislature to recruit industry, the number one things they wanted to look at were the local education system. I asked a gentleman that one time when Hyundai was coming to Montgomery. I was a minority leader in Alabama and was privileged to be in some of those meetings. And he told me one time, he just said, Craig, I want to tell you, he said, where I put my children in a community and they send their kids to school is important to me. So I've never seen somebody that wants to recruit jobs or a municipality that wants to bring in industry that doesn't have a good education system, or their city officials don't work hand in hand with their school system. So I plan on not only working with them, I plan on being with the kids, I plan on eating lunch with them, I plan on building that Titan pride back in our community, and I want to be able to fund the city school system and help them in any way possible and give the students and the teachers the resources that are needed. But also, we need new facilities for K through 8. We need some new buildings, and there are ways to do that. When I was a legislator, we built 8 new high schools in Etowah County. I was able to secure $50 million and bring back to our area for schools. We were able to pass a bill when the PAC program went defunct. I passed a bill with Dr. Paul Hubbard, took the debt service off the PSCA bonds, and created $537 million to be able to honor the promise that Alabama made to these families and these kids of Alabama. I get education. I'm not an educator. I'll listen to educators, but I'm going to work with our education system.
Is there a rebuttal?
Yes, I would love to, please.
Okay. 1 minute.
I don't mean to put any of our school board members on the spot, but when was the last time the mayor came to a school board meeting? I intend to be open and accessible and participatory to actually attend board meetings and to find out where we will be most helpful. I don't think that it's fair to a school system to bootstrap their funding. I think when you have a school system and the school system has leadership that you can trust and admire, you should trust them with the funding as well. You don't know from year to year when grant funds would be available for one activity or one project, and when you've bootstrapped that funding to that activity or project, they've lost the opportunity to bring in additional monies to their school. We've got to work in concert. I also would like to know, when's the last time you saw a student brought before the city council to be applauded for an exceptional activity or academic achievement? We've got to promote our students. We've got to brag about our students. We have incredible talent coming out of Gadsden City.
Thank you. Mr. Ford? Do you have a rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay, very good. We move to the next question. And it has to do with the next category. It has to do with affordable housing and homelessness. Affordable housing has also played a major role in economic development. And with some of the advantage of affordable housing, when it comes to attracting industry, enhancing the quality of life, and increasing spending and competing in a global economy. So what are some of the advantages of affordable housing when it comes to attracting industry, enhancing the quality of life, and increasing spending and competing in a global economy?
Okay, I'll just keep it simple. Right now, 40% of the city of Gadsden are rental houses. 60% are owned by people in a community. So we have a serious issue as far as in affordable housing. Just today, we were knocking on doors and we met somebody on Lay Street over in East Gadsden, Alabama, and they're being moved from their house. They're not being offered a fair wage to be able to go somewhere to buy a house to maintain their standard of living. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. So we have to, we were discussing backstage, we were talking about dealing with some D.C. grants and an organization out of D.C. that does it. We have something called the Land Bank Authority in the city of Gadsden. It's very difficult, if you have not noticed, the Land Bank Authority to be able to purchase one of these pieces of property. and I'll use this person's name with his permission, Dave Cummings. He has been able to build almost 60 to 70 houses in South Gadsden for around $50,000 to $55,000. He rents them for $550 a month. Then he tries to turn around and help the people try to find a way to purchase the residents from them. It is a golden opportunity. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to look at someone that wants to do something here, and you have to develop a public-private partnership with the people here in Gadsden that are willing to invest. But we have to find a way for some of our residents to find affordable housing.
Ms. New?
Housing as a whole is a problem in Gadsden. Affordable and or executive C-level housing is a problem. We haven't really looked at housing as an effort. The Gadsden Land Bank has more than 1,200 properties in its coffer that are available for residential opportunities, and we do have to market that. How many of you know about the side lot program? How many of you know that you could purchase one of those properties for as little as $500 and build a home? And while I agree it's important that we engage our local builders and those development companies, it's important that we engage individuals who are currently in rental situations where they're paying twice as much as what they would have to pay if they were able to purchase a home. Paying $700, $800 for rent for a home that they could finance for $300 to $400 a month is not fair to anyone. We've got to work with individuals. We've got to embrace our credit unions and our lending companies so that we can repair credit and we can get people into financial stability for their future, not just for the immediate need, but for their future. And that opportunity exists. We've got the talent, we've got the people here that can help folks get into home ownership. We've got to maximize the opportunities within the Gadsden Land Bank. Again, I go back to my 2% for Gadsden residents that work in Gadsden. That could be a recruitment tool to get some folks back into Gadsden. If you can get a 2% raise by relocating and becoming a resident of Gadsden, that's a pretty good opportunity for folks. It might not mean a lot to somebody like me with a meager income, but it could mean something significant, and it could help turn around our median household income. It could help turn around our degree attainment. It can make us more competitive as we recruit and compete for those new jobs in our community.
That's your time. Thank you. Homelessness affects the health and well-being of a community. What is your plan to end homelessness in the city of Gadsden? Ms. New?
So homelessness is a symptom. I don't believe homelessness is the problem. I believe homelessness is the symptom. And the symptom is going to be hard to treat until we get to the core root of the disease, which is mental health. When the state legislature defunded mental health on the state level and closed the last 4 state hospitals, they pushed mental health into the community without any funding to do so. And so we've had to scramble. We've had to figure things out for our own. When someone's in a mental health crisis, they go to the hospital. The hospital has, I think, 8 beds at Gadsden Regional. They can't be kept that long. Getting someone into a long-term facility is almost impossible. We have probably the top expert in the state, if not in the country, that has incredible ideas for solutions, and we must embrace and partner for those solutions. Judge Scott Hassel has exquisite experience, superb training. He has a doctorate. He knows how to address this issue. We've got to be at the table with the county. We've got to be in cooperation. If we're going to treat mental health, which then causes the problem of addiction, which then often also causes homelessness, we've got to address the core of the disease, not the symptoms. I have been privileged to be at the table with folks like Ruth Moffitt and Jamie Sledge before the pandemic hit, when really incredible conversations were happening about a holistic, comprehensive approach to transitional sheltering. This approach would offer job skills. It would provide mental and physical health. You would get a person whole before they would be expected to exit the facility.
That's your time. Thank you. Mr. Ford?
So there's many different groups and coalitions that are addressing this problem that we're going to have to rely on. Just a couple are the Homeless Coalition Northeast Alabama, the Homeless Meetings facilitated by United Way. In 2021, there were 239 people that are counted on the census in Gadsden as homeless. This is a serious issue. Once again, we have to identify the reasons of homelessness. It's drugs and alcohol, domestic violence, mental illness, and et cetera. But this is something that will need to be also assisted by with our faith-based partners. We're going to have to get with our churches as a municipality and develop a coalition to help assist these people. In Birmingham, Alabama, there's something called First Light, if you're familiar with it. It's a shelter for women. They can go there every night at 5 p.m., spend the night, no men are allowed in. They give them a hot meal, they're allowed to take a shower, and in the morning they leave. They could be homelessness, they could be abused, or et cetera. There's a place for men also. We need 2 facilities like that in Gadsden. Now, not to say we have a lot of empty buildings in Gadsden, but there are plenty of buildings that we could find and work with our faith-based in making this a reality.
Is there a rebuttal?
I would just like to finish that conversation, and there were buildings identified. There were faith-based groups that were brought to the table for this. Since the pandemic, that conversation has been very difficult to revive, but I do believe Gadsden, the city of Gadsden, has to have a seat at that table and has to be supportive of those efforts. We have to have for-profit to have nonprofit. You've got to have the opportunity for individuals to generate wealth so that they can support efforts like this, whether it's through their church, whether it's through a nonprofit organization, but we have to build personal wealth. We have to make that a focus so that we can help individuals get back into employment, get back whole, get back healthy, and be part of our community in an effective and meaningful way.
Okay. Mr. Ford, do you have a rebuttal?
I'm good, thank you.
Very good. Our next question is, how important is strengthening and expanding affordable housing in a way that it reduces homelessness and restore a sense of stability in our communities? Mr. Ford?
Well, I think we kind of answered that, but
Yeah.
I'll just reiterate. I think everyone's dream is to own a home. If we can work with our financial institutions and the coalitions that we mentioned before and make that a reality, I think that also brings pride into your city and also will help grow your economy.
Okay. Very good. Did you sing Liberty?
Just one other point that I will make, we have an opportunity to look at city ordinances, setbacks and minimum square footage. We have the opportunity to look at some successful models throughout the country of tiny houses that are one way of getting individuals back into home ownership and out of homelessness.
Okay. All right, thank you. We know that the near future of their plan for the East Gadsden connection. Does your administration have a plan to aid those who will be displaced and obtaining affordable housing?
100%. We knocked on the door of one today.
It's Ms. New. I'm sorry, Ms. New.
Yeah.
I attended that community meeting that was held just a couple of weeks ago at East Gadsden Community Center, and I spoke with a lot of individuals that were there who were going to be impacted, and a lot of them were very concerned. Those that own their homes were not nearly as concerned as those that are renting their homes, because if they're in a rental property, there's no equity there for them. There's no help for them. There are individuals with the state that were there who have assured those residents that they are going to help them with the transition, but the city of Gadsden's got to be a strong partner in that as well. We've got to make sure that our citizens are not displaced unnecessarily, and we've got to make sure that we are being thoughtful and proactive in how we're going to resituate them in our communities. Again, the Gadsden Land Bank is an incredible opportunity, but if we're going to do something, we've got to get after it immediately, because those easement acquisitions those purchases are being made right now, and once a deal is struck, there's 30 to 60 days before those individuals have to relocate. So this is a very urgent and immediate problem, and to be honest, it's a problem that's going to have already erupted by whenever the new administration takes over. So I'm hopeful that this is being handled immediately, because it's going to be a very big problem. We've got people there that are scared, that don't know where they're going, and you know, when you feel sad and desperate, you're going to resort to desperate measures. We don't want folks to leave our community. We don't want them to have to find an entirely different city or county to live in because they can't find something here. So it is an immediate need, and I do hope that our current administration is looking into that. You have my assurance that it will have my full attention immediately.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ford?
So, as I mentioned before, we knocked on the door of someone today that's going through that. Yes, the city will assist in any way possible, change ordinances, help that person relocate, but keep in mind, with growth comes pain also. When you build new highways and you expand your economy in your city, some people are going to have to relocate. That's just part of the growth problem. So it all goes hand in hand, but if you have a mayor and you have a group that works with the mayor, that is sensitive to that and realizes that and tries to help those people relocate, then I think that helps lower the burden of having to relocate from your home. So I don't understand that. That's never happened to me, but I can promise you I'll do everything possible to help those people relocate.
Okay. And just before we do our closing statement, and to give 2 minutes, and having been a housing professional for more than 35 years, there is a uniform act that applies to the acquisition of real property and displacement of persons resulting from federal or federal assisted programs or projects. And so I think that's a reference point, that we have to be fair with folk when they're moved and displaced. There are federal guidelines that governs how that is to be done, and it does not exclude renters. So that's just a bit of information. I just had to do that. I'm gonna probably get beat up by the host.
No, you'd be somebody outside my sandbox I'd call on.
Well, I just thought we just needed to visit that. Now is an opportunity for you to make your closing statement. And of course, you can dictate as to why people need to consider yourselves as mayor of this city, this wonderful city, the city I call home when I'm visiting or so. I love this city, and I like to see it grow even more. And so I would ask that you, in your closing statement, address us in a way that you would like. You have 2 minutes, and I think since the toss of the phone, I think you went first, so you go first, Ms. New, and then Mr. Ford. Okay.
So a half-truth is a whole lie, and it's time for everyone to hear the truth. My opponent keeps talking about how results matter, and I agree wholeheartedly. Where are those results? Millions of tax dollars that he brought to our schools. I ask you, outside of this campus, where do you see those dollars? It's not in the city of Gadsden. Millions of tax dollars he gave to Goodyear without any assurance they'd stay. We gave them $30 million for 12 years. That's $2.5 million a year, more than the occupational tax our workers paid into the city of Gadsden each year, and now both of those pots of money are gone. He tells us he negotiated the sale of Goodyear just in time for this election. A quick Google search will also tell you that we announced Building 759 in 2014 and 2017 just in time for elections. In 2022, we're still talking about building it. Where are his results? He complains that I was offered a job in Orange Beach in 2017 while he owns a condo at the beach, a house in Lake Martin, a place in Colorado. He didn't show up in Montgomery, and he won't show up at City Hall. If he does, how can we expect folks he publicly put down for years on his social media and his newspaper to work with him? People like our congressman, our governor, our senator, our state representative, our county commission. In 18 years, he brought us crumbs, and he asked us to be thankful for them. He's told half of you here that I march with Black Lives Matter, and the other half I'm going to annex the country club to Rainbow City. So I encourage you to talk to each other tonight, because darkness cannot overcome darkness. Only light can do that. And a half-truth is a whole lie. You deserve the truth. You deserve leadership.
Yes.
This is not politics as usual. It doesn't have to be this way. Elect me on September 20th.
I will give you the same time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So I don't recall saying a lot of those things that you just mentioned, but if you remember them, remind me when I walk out the door. But, you know, we talk about bringing unity and bringing everyone together. That doesn't sound like unity to me. So, you know, I'll be short and sweet to this. I'll let my record stand for itself. You can ask any educator in the city of Gadsden, Atala City, Etowah County City, if Craig Ford wasn't their friend. And if I didn't bring them grants, bring them money. I passed a 1-cent sales tax, which actually built this school, and built 7 other high schools in the county, and built also all the gymnasiums and air conditioned them. I've been proud to be able to, here in Gadsden. I was able to join, never left, never wanted to leave. Always wanted to come back home, and I want to be able to make it where your kids and grandkids can also come back here. I had a partner of 18 years or 20 years, Phil Hodges, who was very well respected in this community, who offered his hand out to me, who allowed me to stay here. Let me say it simple. I met with 7 mayors today from Etowah County that took their picture with me, that said they supported me for the city of Gadsden. I'm not running for mayor of Rainbow City or mayor of Southside. I'm not hanging my hat on those 2 cities and saying we all need to work together. They will not control Gadsden, and I will not control. Number 1 leader in education and recruiting jobs, and I'm going to turn over every rock possible, and I'm going to work for you, and I'm going to do what I did as a legislator for 18 years, and my father did for 24 years, and I'm going to represent Gadsden and make you proud. If you don't let me come back. So I want to thank you and thank Real Talk for having us, and I look forward to Tuesday, and please vote. Thank you.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Let's give our candidates a hand. Let's give Pastor Z and Bishop T a hand. And then give me a hand.
Listen, we just want to close out this debate. We thank Ms. New, we thank Mr. Ford for agreeing to do this. I think it was necessary. I think we got some answers to some questions we've been looking for. And hopefully you have your mind made up now of who you're going to vote for on September the 20th. We thank you all for coming out in great numbers. It means that you care in what direction our city will go to. We stand, divided we fall. We all are citizens of Gadsden, and we all deserve to say that Gadsden is a place that we're proud to live. Thank all of you for coming. Anything you have? Amen. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mr. Hart, Pastor Hart. Thank you, Piffany. Thank all of you. Have a wonderful night.